This experiment is about keeping insects. We need a net, all plant, support sticks, soil in a jar, and containers to keep the insects. When keeping insects, make a habitat that is right for the insects. I will show you 4 methods to keep insects. For the first method, look for eggs or larvae on leaves and branches. Completely cover the plant with net. Each plant is different and should be covered differently. When we put the net on top of this plant, the stems bend because they are soft. This might cause the stems to break. For such plants, use support sticks. You can make it stand on the ground or insert it through the soil. Be careful not to hit the roots. Put the other stick on the other side. With the sticks in place, the stems will not bend because of the net. This will protect the stems from breaking. This will also protect the leaves from damage. So for plants with soft stems, put sticks before covering the plant with net. You can add more sticks if you want. Next, tuck the edges of the net under the pot. You can water the plant using a spray bottle. Make sure that the water passes through the net and reaches the plant. It is not enough to spray far from the net. Water might not reach the plant that way. Water must reach the plant so that the plant will grow and the larvae will have food to eat. This kind of habitat is good for the larvae of butterflies, moths, and walking sticks. This makes it easy to observe larvae, especially when they turn into their adult form. The net can then be opened so that the adults can go find a mate and reproduce. For the second method, we will use a container to keep the insects or a plastic bottle that is transparent, clean, and smell-free. Look at this bottle. How is it different from these two? That's right, this has holes. This also has holes. This one does not have holes. As such, use an awl to punch holes through this bottle. Be careful when punching holes so that you won't get hurt. The holes will look like this. These holes will let air flow and keep the insects healthy. Next, put fresh leaves inside the container so that the insects will have something to eat. After picking leaves off a plant, keep them fresh by using water. Open the container and get the water tube. Remove the cap. Fill the tube with water. There is a hole on this cap. Later, we will insert the stem through it. Put the cap back. Insert the stem through the hole. The leaves will stay fresh because of the water. Put the leaves inside the container. Then put insects inside the container. Replace the leaves when they wither or when the insects eat all of them. Cover the container and start observing the insects. This kind of habitat is good for many insects like butterflies and walking sticks. This container is also good for rhinoceros beetles and stag beetles, but their food and habitat will be different. For beetles, put sawdust or peat moss at the bottom of the container. Then put the beetles inside. Their food is hard to get, so you can just feed them with beetle jelly. Some beetles have big mandibles, so crush the jelly so that the beetles can easily eat them. Remember to put back the lid after feeding the beetles. The third method is for the larvae of rhinoceros beetle. The larvae are buried in soil, so it is hard to observe them. As such, do this at specific times during the observation. Pour the soil on a tray. Be careful so that you will not hurt the larvae. After getting all the soil out, spread them on the tray. Observe the changes in the larvae, like their length and looks. Also, check the soil. If it is too dry, add a little water. If it has molds, replace the soil so that the larvae will stay healthy. After observing the larvae and checking the soil, put some soil at the bottom of the jar. Then put the larvae inside the jar. Then put the rest of the soil inside the jar. You have seen 4 methods for keeping insects. Before you start keeping insects, know their food, habitat, and habits. That way, your insects will surely grow.